Fireball summer, honeymoon lovers, seeing no colors. Love me all summer, making disco. Fireball summer, honeymoon lovers, seeing no colors. Love me all summer, making discovers under your covers.
Good afternoon, everybody. Semi-final action in the open division Iznogood from Noisy-le-Sec, France, taking on Clapham Ultimate, the London powerhouse, in the semi-final action here, bringing LTTV, bringing this live to you. Christina Obermeyer. I will be joined by my colleague Corey Sostre in just a second, as mixed games are wrapping up just now. Both teams are ready. Clapham is gonna start on defense. Huge ball going up into the hands of Nas and Vogel. Going back around into the hands of Becker. Iznogood working it with the handlers. Another reset to Vogel, looking deep, going over the top to Van der Vode. Becker putting Nas to a good position. Near side, just in front of the camera now. Reset to Vogel. Over to Becker, and that disc is low and hits the ground. Loads of pressure from Clapham will give them the first break opportunity and the first point of this game. Garnier to pick up. And he's going to shoot it deep immediately. Player underneath it will not be able to get that disc in his hand. Slaughtered. That disc just out in front of him. Izno with another opportunity to get that first hold. Joe White, an American import that moved to France, to Paris actually, for a few months in preparation of World Championships. He's going to pick up the disc for Iznogood. Becker up the line to Joe White. Over to Van der Vode. Joe White now in the middle of the field, looks for an open option. Finds Van der Vode. To Nguyen. And over to the other side of the field. Joe White can't catch that disc. Low throw, and he normally gets all of these passes, but just maybe semi-final jitters early on. Hillman over to Rowledge in the red zone, but a pick has been called, I believe. There's a discussion about whether the defense could have caught up with him. Replay here, and the disc will go back to Garnier. Stall signaled to be at 0. Garnier looking for an option. Finds McHale. Wild fakes from McHale. Gets that reset, but puts it out at the side of the zone, and I am now joined by Corey so straight. Corey, you haven't really missed a lot, just a few sloppy turns from both sides to start the game. Vogel into the middle.
I'm very glad. Again, I'm excited to see this game, as with all games here, but this one, some people might say this is the final. The French Championships against the #1 team in Windmill right now, it's going to be a thriller.
I bet it will, and it's going to be intense as a travel is called on Nguyen or Jifa. I'm not quite sure, haven't really seen it, but one of those two had the disc before. Nguyen is going to get that disc back in his hands.
As we see here, just about five minutes going into the game too. Still 0-0, so a lot to go on.
Yeah, both teams battling really hard to get that early look. And Van der Woude with an amazing layout to save possession. White throwing through loads of contact, and a foul called on the mark. They're gonna discuss it real quick. As we see a replay. Too far, low throw, and what a collection there by Van der Woude. Apparently the best player in the Netherlands, as I've heard. Multiple times by different people. Not biased, hopefully.
Well, even then too, you can see just the full extension to make sure the possession goes on, as a discussion between Joe White and Connor McHale about maybe the continuation through the throw and the spacing.
So a foul that is contested, and the disc will stay in the hands of Joe White. Stall count is at 4. High reset for Vogel. And another foul call. Modiano on Ness.
And it looks like right there, as both players are going up for the disc, maybe some contact on Vogel that inhibited the follow-through catch there, and that's what their discussion, I believe.
Quite a lot of stoppages and a very long first point.
I had enough time to finish the last game, run to the bathroom real quick, come back, and feel like I'm in the thick of it, all within the start of this game, so.
We'll see a replay again. Very high throw, tipped. And an uncontested foul apparently, as Mbe Vogel ends up with the disc in his hands, and he's gonna chuck it deep. What a throw, beautiful put. Too high for backhand. Flying in. But just out of reach for Felix.
Right there too, you can see a great deep shot, trying to utilize the wind here. Might have been going around there, but an interesting play to maybe punt the ball here. And it's a timeout called, I believe, by Clapham.
A good call after such a long first point. Has not been decided yet, but as they're taking a short break, so are we. To give you a word of some of our sponsors.
Side Murphy, and then floats that one out. Huge bid, gets the touch. What a grab! GV!
You just saw an ad for a London invite. The next thing we're going to stream for you. Clapham organizing this. People from Clapham, head organizers. So tune in. If you're around, go get your tickets. Watch some live frisbee. It's going to be amazing. As Clapham get another chance to break. Modiano going back to Hillman. The line to Conor McHale. Conor McHale is going to shoot it deep, and that is a hand block. But discussion about it.
Riga was pumped after that hand block, giving up, yelling and screaming, but now McHale saying there might have been a foul on the throw.
He's pretty sure there is, and Becker arguing against it. Becker, a captain on that team, that Iznogood team.
Showing maybe a hit from where the disc came, I'm not sure, but it looks like it's a contested foul, and we are drawing on the 11th minute of this point. No scores, just vibes, honestly.
Arnold in the middle. Big gainer to Arnold. Arnold shooting it deep on his side. So many players underneath it, and by Vogel.
Oh, it's up!
That's a ground. Oh, it's down.
Oh, wow.
Vogel on the ground. Had an intense impact with the ground, and he looks very shaken up.
And it looks like it's a head injury too, tapping to his head.
Points to his head, and we will see a replay on that. Stumbling a bit, getting that disc, and then, oh, and he lands very badly on that head. He's gonna go into the shade. He's gonna be, the coaches are with him. Slaughter also taken an injury, and Reigns to pick up for Izno.
Again, even though we see the unfortunate head injury to Vogel, what a great D he had there to deny that, the catch for the score, honestly. And even then, it's still 0-0 here, as Joe White has the disc.
White looking to bomb it deep, I'm sure. Jifa can't come up with that catch, and there's a stoppage because of a pick, and I'm not sure what the outcome of this will be, as even if a pick was called, you have to catch that disc, and there was no impact. He just clearly didn't catch it.
It looks like it's an uncontested foul over there, maybe on the catch, I believe.
The pick, so many discussions about small things of the rules, but of course this is how our sport is played. And Joe White will keep the disc in his hands.
As we see here, I feel like I'm in a class for Frisbee right now, learning a great usage of so many rules, and we're still going on this point, but it's great ultimate between two gargantuans of teams here.
Becker, another stoppage. And for players on the field are just laughing it off now. They both know the stakes of this. Becker puts up the disc so high, and Clapham defender underneath it. Conor McHale going every other now, just in front of the end zone, surveying the field. Hillman to Conor McHale, and that is a break for Clapham. And he might be called not in. Another stoppage. Why would it go easy? There would be no reason for it.
Honestly, at this point, but to take it back to Amala, just to get the catch right there for the D to start this Clapham possession on this point was pretty remarkable here as they look to knock on the door to get inside with McHale having the disc here.
Hillman in the middle now. Beautiful round shot to Moriano, and there's different hand signals, some pointing it out, some pointing it in.
And it looks like people are going to go to our replay booth to see if it was in or out, but it looks like the
they're
players
playing on, and
yeah.
it's the player's decision.
It looks like play continues anyway here. The players want to get this point over with. This might be one of the longest points I've ever seen, especially commentated here.
The two elite teams that really both want it so bad, and
Score there.
Moriano with the catch for Clapham, this time inbounds, no cause whatsoever. And that is a break for Clapham to start off that semi-final. You know, I hope the rest of this game will be as exciting. I hope points will go a bit quicker though, because stopping so many times and having so many turnovers is not how any of these teams want to win.
Honestly. Ooh.
Oh, that is so close, but I might even think calling this in is the right decision. It doesn't matter because the players on the field have already decided it, but
But even here too, we had everybody around watching the highlights saying, ooh, that was kind of nuts. But here too, I think it's a sigh of relief, honestly, for both teams. You know, you have so much tension built up in that first point. They want to take the lead, both of them, that it results in teams going back to 14 minutes worth of play here and stoppages with calls. But now both teams can say, okay, that official grind point is done. We can concentrate on what we do now. Players on both lines can have some rest and continue to move on from there too, because yeah, that was a doozy of a point. That was a long one, but that's what happens when you have great competition and you also know the rules and you can come to conclusions with those rules and calls being made.
Clapham putting out another D-line. Some players actually pulling double duty.
What gladiators coming out right after that point too. You see, again, Rowledge coming out, you see White coming out. Vogel coming back from the injury point to play on this. It's so close, Rowledge right there against White.
White with the disc, using the fact that Rowledge overcommitted on that round shot. Vogel in the middle. To the side to White. Another stoppage due to a pick, and the structure is not very clear, thus resulting into so many different pick calls and players running in front of each other. Oh, what a bid. Tim Schock isn't really fussed by it and puts it to his roommate White. Goes around to Nass. White and Nass working it between themselves. And what a throw from Vogel. Schock put the lefty up to White, just in front of the end zone now. Joe White directing traffic.
It looks like there's another call here. I believe a pick.
Pick gives the disc back to Joe White. Joe White up the line. Gets it, puts it over to Piquet, who bobbles and catches that disc just in front of the end zone now. Joe White anchoring this. Giffard looking for Bichon, but instead goes to wide, and another very heated discussions, but just think in between the Izno players, Tim Shock calling for people to make space by pushing back the stack, clearing that front line for an isolation of probably Joe White or himself. Tim Shock, Jafar.
And we see here too with Izno right on that goal line. They need as much space as possible not to clog the lane. As you see 3 Clapham defenders in that tiny lane there. And it looks like, you guessed it, another call.
Jafar getting hand blocked, and Bichon just there trying to get that disc regardless, but it's going to be an uncontested foul. Thompson.
They tap the disc in, and it's right on that goal line. Clapham making it really difficult for Izno to get it in.
Joe White looking for an option, has to go back to Vogel. And he puts it in easily for Tim Shock this time. Just an outside-in flick. And that's 1-1. A hold for Izno. What a heated game we got here.
We really do have a heated game. Both teams not giving anything up, as you see the roommate connection between the 2 Americans, Joe White, Tim Shock, putting Iznogood on the board, 1-1 here. And again, just we have a lot of calls here, but the calls are because both of these teams know the rules, and they're also giving a lot of effort on them. So as much as we want to see good Frisbee played, we also want to respect that the players have the decisions on the field, and that's what they're doing here. And they're giving us textbook Frisbee here. It's amazing to watch when it happens. But as most people can see now, it's been 20+ minutes of the game, and the scoreline's only 1-1.
Because that's just because both teams really want to get that win, get every single disc. They're fighting so hard for it, and nobody else could influence that. Like if calls happen, they would be resolved. Might be resolved with anyone else, with another party involved quicker, but the calls would still happen. Oh, and that pull is just landed inbounds and is tipped by Abrams, so he has to walk it toward went out.
As we see here, the wind is gusting a little bit now. The game previous here, it was picking up, but this time it's not terribly so bad, but it is still a factor within the game. We have a call on the field. I'm not exactly sure what this one is.
Abrams talking about where that disc goes in. Says that the sideline was too close, so he waited for all of them to clear away to put that disc into play, and an immediate hand block, scuba block. Is he trying to find a scuba? And this is a red zone opportunity for Izno. Disc just too far out in front, and Abrams redeeming himself by getting that back. Mead faking off Briggs, going to Cartwright instead, who is very open in the middle of the field. Abrams looking for a deep option. Opts to go under to Ole Gordon instead.
And it looks like Wilson there with the disc. Conrad Wilson throwing it up, making it look calm and easy. And Cartwright with the catch right outside the end zone.
James Cartwright not marked and has all the options, and a perfect one in Ollie Gordon for an easy grab. And that's 2-1 for Clapham.
As we see too, Tom Abrams trying to throw, it looks like a scuba over the top at the beginning of the point, getting blocked by Izno, and then immediately getting a deep back there. Clapham just capitalizing on that, moving down the field with a deep shot. And honestly, right there, using their options in time to punch it in.
Yeah, one of the trickiest things with calls and stoppages is keeping your composure. And we saw that Abrams waited for so long for the sideline to clear away, to have all the space, that he might just maybe was just a bit unfocused when he let that scuba go. He didn't really see that second defender poaching off that exact space where he put that disc in, but redeeming himself with a layout D, making sure that disc would only hit the ground and not the player's hands.
As we see here too, not only do we have players on the sideline, we also have an audience from other teams watching this game, because again, most people would assume this would be a finals game, and we get it in the semifinals, so that means we have even more Frisbee to play as well. But we are still far, far, far from finished here.
Ball just rolled out of bounds into the other field, where the Panthers from Wrocław are taking on Seagulls from Hamburg.
Right now, Izno moving it up, getting about the halfway line.
Jafar faking a big backhand, going to Vogel. Becker trying to get that disc, but it's out the side, and it's another opportunity for Clapham. Hillman picking up the disc, putting it to Conor McHale, who surveys the field and goes back to Hillman. Moriano. Beautiful round shot to Conor McHale.
Again, one of the premier matchups within not just this game, but the tournament. Joe White and Conor McHale really going at it so far.
Garner, the line, over to Conor. Hillman. Slaughter goes back to Hillman and gets it back in the middle. McHale on the far side. Moriano.
Oh, and it's close.
Layout attempt, but caught by Wilson. Definitely not Wilson, just his number.
Looks like we have a pick called.
Hillman got the disc in hand. It's already around their own brick mark. McHale now on the far side. Beautiful inside shot to Funk, who puts it in for Moriano, and that is a break for Clapham. And the excitement is high for the Brits.
And Clapham just executing their marks right there, using their throws, getting open into space. It was really a work of beauty as they contested right there. And as you can see, a break really means a lot in these type of games here, because with competition like this, you really don't see many turns. I mean, that might be contradictory to the first point we see, but again, you have to capitalize on the chances you have, and it looks like we might have a timeout called here.
Good call from Iznogood coach. Steph Rapazzo took on coaching the team last year and has been leading them to the top of Europe. Top 3, arguably. They even tied with Clapham earlier this tournament, but now it seems like the momentum is on Clapham's side, as they're just pushing.
And here again, in the other open division semifinal, we have Fuchs against the Mooncatchers. See who plays in the open division final. And honestly, it seems like it's a tight game over there as well, too.
Foy is up 5-3. They managed to make a few more points than Clapham and Izno did, but still 5-4 now. Just a recent update from a few seconds ago. Seems like it's a very tight matchup between those two, and whoever wins there will meet either Izno or Clapham in the final. Did you put your money on any of those teams? Because I said Fui was going to meet one of those two in the final.
I did not put any money on anything, but again, I believe in the Mooncatchers. They have a very solid team. Again, all 4 teams in this open division semifinal have a solid team too. But the Mooncatchers been pretty convincing so far in their season. Iznogood again, winning 2 championships. They won the Fringe championships last week, and then Tom's Tourney, again, about a month previous before too, and then Clapham. There's not much more to say.
Do you want to talk about what they've won?
Honestly, everybody knows at this point. So it's just, you know, we continue to go on. We're having great matchups here, and as we call out the timeout, we're going to see if Izno can respond here, maybe hold.
It's must score point for Izno to stay in that game. Let's see how they cope with that pressure as Connor McHale puts up an amazing pull into the end zone. And the defense is right there. Erik Becker to White. Bouchon, Chili catching that disc.
And it's back to White too as he surveys the field, looking around, fakes a pass, throws it across.
Felix to Van der Woude. White up the line, very open. And jacks it deep for Becker. It's going to float and too far out in front. Visionary shot, just too early or not enough float on there.
Precisely, it looked promising when it got there at the beginning, but it just died down really early with him throw, but it lived in the back corner. You can see players are tired. The sun's come back up from behind the clouds. The pitch has gotten really hot again. Wind's coming in sporadically.
McHale with the disc. Fakes the deep shot. Goes to Rowledge instead. Another pick call.
We see Amala coming underneath for the disc. Getting the disc too.
Just in front of the line. Going inside. Good grab by Martin. Amala in the middle of the field now. Thompson asking for it. Putting it deep. Connor McHale. Getting it back, faking the lefty hammer. Going to
Amala right there.
Instead, just in front of the end zone now, and
that looks in to me.
It is. And that's another break for Clapham. Izno's head's pointing down slightly, and I do not like that body language. They should be hyped up. I know it's really hard to stay on a hype, but it's crucial for the whole team to be on the same page, which is getting a point and then getting a break and another one, as the Dietz's Madras would say, who's playing right now, representing Belgium.
Sorry, I was eating my fries right there. Again, watching a fantastic game. But yes, Clapham taking the score up 4-1 here, getting another break against Izno. And the body language from Izno, again, you're in the semifinals. I know they're focused right now too, but it looks like might be a little defeated getting 2 breaks in a row against them. The timeout might not have prevailed there in Izno's favor.
Yeah, I think that this first point that was so long and grindy set the tone of the game, and it set it in Clapham's favor a bit. But since the scoreline is not at a big difference yet, Izno can, and hopefully for all of us watching, will come back into it.
see here. Clapham ready to pull it, and it's down and rolly here.
Ben Funk with the pull. Vogel fielding it. Looking for someone to throw it to, and Slaughter flying through thin air, but not getting a disc, and this time getting it here, but foul was called, and the disc will stay with Tim Schock.
That's the replay right here, but it tags the disc back in soon, I should say. Checks it in, whatever you want to call it.
Joe White, Jijifa. Another stoppage.
Just be taking a breather right here between the play. Izno looking to bounce back here, get something on the board.
Oh, and two players going down. Foul called that is uncontested, as hand signals show us. Shock. Jifa. Over to Joe White, and he does not lay out for that disc. It's not floating quite enough for him, as Ben Funk calls out a play and puts that disc into it. Hillman to Mariano.
It's getting real gusty right now too.
Not a problem for any of those teams. Garner, mic'd by Vogel. Oh, and that is a layout D attempt, but Hillman on the second attempt gets it. Garner puts it in for Funk, out to space. He's gonna run underneath it and grab that disc just in.
Looks like they're calling out of bounds here.
So not inbounds, out of bounds, and spectators all around can help direct it, and people are looking for a replay. Let's. We can see it now. Let's see if we get a good look at it.
And it looks like after the VAR replay, both teams looking, agreeing on a goal.
My initial.
VAR is confirmed. It is a goal for Clapham.
A toe in at the very back of the end zone for Clapham gives them another break, making it 5-1 for Izno.
As we see Ben Funk coming on the sideline.
He's like, oh, it was really close. I was like, yeah, it was really close.
The toe was just in, as you
Definitely
can see
was.
right there. And both teams from both sidelines coming in and watching the replay and agreeing that it was just inbounds.
So close, that layout bit by Slaughter. Just not enough on it. Bodies flying around. That layout D here. He actually tipped it and caught it on the second attempt. Look at that. Catching it with his face. That is an amazing shot.
There might have been a little controversy there too to see if that catch was in, out of bounds maybe.
I think it was in. Pretty clear to see from our sideline here that.
I don't know, it was right there. Regardless, the disc is caught, and it is inbounds for both of them, and Clapham go up 5-1, and now they do a different style of approach for the hole as they throw it deep to the back corner. But the wind takes that hole one, I should say.
Did that land in? No. So they're breaking it. In. Over to Reigns. The underrated American, one might say. White to Bichon. Reigns with a reset. Fakes the deep. Goes to Bichon again. Into White. Hosts it this time to White. Low throw, caught by Felix. Martin. White to Bichon. And that is a goal for Bichon, but another
foul called, but it is uncontested.
I don't think, was that a foul? There's just a bit of a confusion there, and goal for Bichon, who was suspiciously open.
I like to call that one, I think, and you can see Joe White kind of explaining it, maybe an and one through the contact of the throw to have the option just there. But Iznogood get on the board again to get 5-2.
Talk about Connor McHale and Joe White matching up multiple times this European season. Got a good talking relationship. They're communicating with each other about what is too much body contact, what is fine, about different situations. So do you think in this particular matchup today, Connor McHale's on top of that? Or who's got a better,
right now,
gotten the better of it?
I think right now it might be between the two of them. I'm still not convinced if I have one clearly over the other yet, as they're still battling. It's coming down more, I guess, as a team effort, as we see Izno just giving turns away and Clapham just converting the calls. Again, loving seeing this matchup here.
Wilson shooting it deep for Ford pushing Shock away to easily collect that just in front of the end zone. And that is a D by Izno, running through there, just smacking that away. Clément getting the better there, and dangerous bid by Wilson. That is too late. Go away. So the disc will be switched. For Simon. Looking for an option. Goes far side. Inside shot to Shock, who hangs on to his red. Well, Izno on the run now. Well, finds a quick pass to Shock, who's going to put it up just in front of the red zone. Nico.
We see a snag here from number 15, Conrad Wilson for Clapham.
Mead puts it back into Wilson. Long.
As we see here, our vision might be a little bit encroached as people on the side.
Briggs is going to put one deep. too far for Justin Ford. That signature flick move that Briggs is so well known for. Not working out this time.
And Izno have another opportunity to see if they can get a point on the board again. See if they can go 5-3.
A break. That would be a break. Making that game more interesting is Will, who gets that catch and bombs it deep for Red. Is he going to run under it too far?
That was just too much on that one for Red to get it. It didn't even look like Red was intentionally the target for that one. Red tried to put the burners on, and it's a punt for Izno. And Clapham have to go the full length of the field.
Preservation of greatness. At its finest, an amazing catch from Ruel, but not able to complete the pass after it.
Reined it back into reality from the source.
Mead looking for someone. It's Abrams. Out in front to Mead again. Briggs catches the disc under so much pressure from the Izno defender. Mead is going to throw it out into space. It's hanging. Justin Ford cannot come up with it, but he was so close.
I was about to say on that one, it looked low, but that looked just about perfect bidding, like height, honestly. It was just a little bit reach. It was hard, but oh my goodness, we are getting a treat right here between these two teams.
Clapham O-line looking very shaky, to be honest. So not what we're used from them.
We are not. Again, it is a battle here.
Red. Shock rather. Getting that disc back and holstering it this time. Huge grab up in the air. Shock running it down, and this time around he's hucking it deep.
DeMo's there, but it's denied by Cartwright.
James Cartwright with that D running with him. Taking another risky option is they have two each half.
And it's a turn!
And that's an immediate turn and a red zone opportunity for Iznogood to punch in that break. Beautiful into the end zone, and oh, this is it's a layout by Abrams and Mel, the D-line captain, arguing. Look at that, he gets the disc, bumps. Is he bumping him? Or is that just his own? It's really hard to tell, isn't it?
It is, because you got to watch so many factors here.
He lays out for it, doesn't get there. He catches the disc, but it's very tough to say. Players have been talking for quite a bit.
As we see here, I really think Abrams affected the catch, kind of bidding a little bit early right here. And it looks like he had control and lost control. This one, I'll let you be the judge of that.
I definitely do not want to decide that. It's very hard to say because no, I don't even want to. I don't have a theory on that. It's just two different opinions, and that's why we can contest calls like that. Look at that. Stumbling over.
And again, that's why I'm super glad I'm not a referee in this sport. And it's
We
a
do
player.
not have referees in this sport.
Exactly. I can just tell my opinion, but my guess is just as good as everybody else's here. At this point, time is going. We're already at the 50th minute of this game.
And it's 5-2 in the favor of Clapham.
I think both teams realized that they weren't coming to a resolution. And it is turned. And it is dropped. Tom Abrams going back down. And it is snagged out there. Breach after the denial, the stare down for a D right there.
Fenrich just on his heels. Amazing stuff by both players. And Tim Schock has another opportunity to put Izno on the board with a break. Well, over. And that disc is tipped so many times, but recognizing that that was a good play and capitalizing on it immediately is Justin Ford. Long picking it up quickly and putting it in for a 6-2 lead for Clapham.
And wow, honestly, wow. I don't have any more words to describe it.
I think wow is hitting at pinpoint.
That's all I can say. Again, Izno getting down there. So many turns at this point just to get between both teams, I should say. Izno, again, with the call down the field, not coming to a conclusion. Was it a goal? Was it not a goal? It's hard to call it. Regardless, though, Clapham end up with the goal at the end. And that's kind of what it seems like to be the tale of this game so far, is whoever can win the end of these grind points can take the victor and use the motivation.
I said that before, but it's very uncharacteristic for the Clapham O-line to work at so many turns and have to play defense again and again. So Iznogood is pushing all the buttons, all the right ones, I want to say. But then in the end, they can't capitalize on these opportunities that they're getting again and again. I don't think I've ever seen a team get that many defenses on a Clapham team, but they can't capitalize it, and it's not worth much if you can't use those opportunities they're giving you again and again.
That is true, and I will say as well, even with the turns though, Clapham is pretty well rounded in regards to that, so they can play great defense as well and make you have to earn that, and they're making Izno try to earn it too. As we see here, the disc is floating to Joe White. He has it, but Izno have an adventure down the street, down the pitch, might someone say.
Nguyen
When throwing it up.
to Becker, Nas, Mbe Vogel, putting it back into the middle for Nguyen. Oh, and layout. Oh, Will Rowledge popped out his shoulder again, maybe. Laying out for defense. Just had a shoulder injury recently, and is asking for a physio now.
Oh, that is a brutal landing. You just see Rowledge immediately saying no. I gotta come out.
Everybody knows that kind of injury. Garner is gonna come in for him. Vogel with disc in his hands. Nguyen. Up the line to Joe White, and that is a lot of body contact, and he's not happy with that, and I get it. That was a lot.
Yeah, that was a lot of contact there. Again, we want to prioritize player safety. Not saying it was ill-willed.
Round to Vogel. Vogel. White to Jaffa. Looking for an option, finds Vogel, and Hillman in between and can't get the grab. Jaffa. Jaffa working it in the handler set. They're happy to take reset after reset. Vogel now. Inside out to White. But another pick call. Vogel. To Jaffa, leading pass into space. Putting it up for Vogel, who grabs that disc just before, and also cutting an injury, his head.
If you're seeing too, Vogel had a head injury earlier within the game.
And landed there again. He got that disc. What a grab. Tim Schock will check that. Oh, and instead of Vogel, will check it back in. Joe White, just in front, the end zone now. Playing through a lot of body contact, and that's a defense for Clapham. That was clean. He celebrates it.
And what a bid that was to save the goal there. Coming out of nowhere, I thought Joe White had spectacular grabs and cuts there to get the easy score, but Clapham just not giving up there. That was amazing.
Nathan Ragg drawing that White matchup and getting on top of that. This point, Slaughter, Thompson, and another Izno player on the floor. Tim Schock just wanted to stand up, but the disc will stay in the hands of Modiano. Modiano to Rag. Looking for a dump. Finds it in Garner. Almala. To Modiano. Connor McHale now. It's back to Thompson. Another pick call. Seen so many pick calls this game.
It is a lot of pick calls this game too. Again, as we continue down to the 58th minute, score is 6-2 Clapham.
Thompson is going to keep that disc. Amala. Looking for a reset, and Schock catches it, but Amala on that bubble manages to keep that disc alive just above the ground. We'll see that again. That disc will be checked back in.
Can't miss any of the action here.
Rag gets a push pass. And Clapham working it backwards. Garner. Connor McHale with an amazing layout grab out of his direction. Heated discussion.
And we take it back to the VAR call. I mean, it looks like we don't.
Called in.
Players in the field just want to get back to it. Understandably so, as it's getting to the 60th minute. And it is a poach got this.
Van der Woud is showing why he's the best player in the Netherlands. Getting a poach block for the Izno O-line. Becker just keeping his fingers around that disc. Much traffic around him, goes up the line to win. Fakes it, gets it to the other side, and that's a goal for Izno. A much needed one. What a grab there.
Felix there just laying out just to secure the catch there. It was another, again, a grind point. I keep saying that, but that might be the trademark for this game, honestly. The definition is just continuing to play hard. You can see Clapham didn't give anything. They laying out everywhere, going second chances, throwing their bodies around, but so is Izno here, and they're continuing to go at it. It's Rag, as you can see, they're recovering. It's really awesome to see. Again, as a spectator, as a commentator, as a fan of the sport, this is great ultimate.
So many highlights. Look at that. Oh, and he never actually left his feet. His feet were always on the ground. You see another with that, definitely.
Even then,
stoppage.
Mikhail comes over to marvel at his catch there and say, yeah, he's like, yeah, I had some space there.
He did, and then he threw it away. A very typical thing to do after a great catch. Throw it away into a defense or into the ground. I expected more of him, though.
Now we have it here. Izno pulling it. It is a blade.
Nasty pull. Wilson to Ford. Gordon cutting hard. Wilson puts it to Cartwright. Meach shows he's very open. Indeed he is. Ford to Gordon. And Wilson's gonna shoot deep, but it's very low, and
Von Rees there with two aware Ds within this game here. Kind of just coming out of the poaching lane, just being amazing there. It's been awesome to see.
Bichon faking with two hands, putting it around to Tim Shock. Joe White. Well,
maybe a pick called there, or?
probably another pick.
One of our other famous phrases we say is, you looked a little suspiciously open there. So I guess a foul on before the cut even happened, maybe stomped on the foot. And Peter here, keeping score. It's like having a third commentator in the booth with us. It's pretty awesome here.
Wait, looking for something and finding Cartwright not on his team. Wilson now with the disc. Just looking for a recent amazing dump coverage. He has no chance but to chuck it deep, and well, throws that out of bounds. What a defense. And also,
I almost jumped out of my seat to catch that one. It was coming right towards us over here.
I would have loved to see that. A style out call as well. It's going to be a D regardless, I believe, but it's either on the sideline or in a more favorable position, about 20 meters.
And it looks like it's a stall uncontested.
The dump defense played by Von Riesch was unparalleled.
It was amazing. I mean, they were suffocating. Izno was suffocating right there. Could not find any options anywhere. Really wanted it. Demol just, oh my goodness. Great defense again.
Well, to Joe White. Shock, very open.
Some cheeky footy skills right there by Wilson.
White checking it back in. Beautiful shot to Shock. And into the end zone. Two players there, both of them from Izno. And that's a goal. That's a break.
That is a break for Izno to get it within two here.
It ain't over till it's over. But every point here is crucial because the rules say that you have to be within one. to play the game out. If there's a score difference of 2 or more, the game is over at 70 minutes. And we're quickly approaching 70 minutes.
As you can just see here, we're letting the atmosphere just kind of speak for itself. Tensions are getting high, energy is high. Both teams want it all the time. The crowd is here, you're here with us, and there is a Blady pull.
Mead finds Abrams. Poachy defense by Iznogood.
Abrams running down, but cuts underneath.
Loads of pressure from forward to catch that disc. Mead sees Hillman go. Gets caught right underneath. In the middle to Hillman. Gordon. Back to Hillman. Abrams. Another stoppage. Van Ries looks a bit shaken up. Gets hit by his opponent. Ford looking for options. Beautiful dump coverage. Gets Mead. To Gordon. Inside to Ford. And the round to Abrams just in front of the end zone. Oh. And that's an uncharacteristic mistake. Ford not connecting with Briggs. Just in and out of his hands. An option for Izno to get within 1, the score.
And Izno take as many chances as they can have here. Again, the score was as much down as 6-2. And with this opportunity, if Izno can convert, they can bring it back within 1 to make it 6-5 as we are getting close to the conclusion of this game.
Becker working with White.
You can hear the jingle, so.
A must-score point for Izno. Becker fakes shock. Gets him up the line. Up the line and just in front of the end zone for Chifa. Shock to Becker. Just in front of the end zone. White. Good position now and puts it in for the goal. Jean-Baptiste Simon with the goal here for Izno, and that's 5-6. And this is within 1.
5-6, and like Peter confirmed right here, one of our volunteers, the third commentator, game to 7.
Exciting, so exciting.
This is what you live for here.
We got a game of runs.
We do, really, really do. Again, Clapham rallying up the score after a long first point, 20+ minutes, them getting the first one. Went up and took their lead to 6-2 against Izno, and Izno coming back to make it 6-5. Wow. Wow, it's amazing.
What a tight game. Deserving of a semi-final of arguably the best tournament in the world, Windmill.
It's been pretty damn good so far. Again, to see everything going on. This game has the atmosphere as a final, but it's a semi-finals. Both teams just giving so much out there. And as we see here, is that the conclusion it looks like?
Foy and Mooncatchers are also playing their semi-final right now, and it looks like they're within 1 as well, 11-10 in the favor of Foy, although they have been up 3 points. So what's going to happen there is it's a game to 12. Here it's a game to 7. So both semi-finals are going to
The
+1 cap. So it couldn't be tighter, and that's absolutely what we expected to happen, what we wanted to happen as well, because there's so much great Ultimate for you to watch. And if you want to help us show you more Ultimate and chip in, you can jump to our Patreon, become a subscriber, give us a bit of your money. We're not asking for much. We're asking for as much as a coffee a month, 3-4 euros, maybe more if you have more to give. Subscribe, become a patron, and help us fund our work and bring you more Frisbee coverage.
And here we see the Mooncatchers 11-11 in that game as well.
Briggs with the disc. Modigliano, back to Briggs. Looking for options. Goes to Modigliano again. Wilson with a bit of dancing to get open, and he does get that disc. Out to space for Ford. Marked by Becker. Putting a lot of pressure on him. Briggs comfortably catching that disc. Gordon on the far side. Wilson too high for Wilson, and Joe White just smacking that disc to the ground. An opportunity for Izno to
get a break right here, tie the game at 6-6, and then we had to go down to Universe Point. Might be the craziest Universe Point I've personally seen, going to 6-6, but we're getting a little ahead of ourselves here. Izno still have a job to do on this point first. Monrees comes underneath.
White up the line. Big gainer looking for Becker in the middle. Becker finds
Joe.
no one.
It's not there, it's deflected.
By Gordon, he wanted too much. Justin Ford to Gordon. Modigliano putting it up into space. Huge layup to Connor McHale, and it's just too far out of reach. That would have been an amazing catch and deserving for the goal, but instead it's another opportunity for Izno, and what a game we have here.
Right there, almost a star-studded finish to cap off a brilliant game we've seen. But no, we still have more to go, and Izno have to go all the way down the field just to get it tied at 6-6. And Clapham are going to see if they can stop it here and punch it in for the score. As you can hear sidelines from both teams encouraging the players on the field, telling them to punch through. Suck it up, it's getting tired, it's getting hot out here. Leave it on the line. This is the semifinals of the Open Division here. As you can see at the bottom of your screen, Fu and Mooncatchers tied 11s.
Shock. Got the disc in his hand.
I thought you were talking about the score there.
No, that's his name. It's a good one though. High grab. Into White, and White's gonna bomb it deep for Jafar. 2 Clapham Bears underneath, and
Jafar catches it! Oh! I took Christina's shot. I'm sorry, I got too excited.
Jafar with that goal, evening it out for Iznogood. They got back into that game. I didn't think it was possible, honestly.
I did not. Again, that's why it comes down to the last second. Every point matters, as you've been saying all game. And that 6s here comes down to Universe Point.
Universe Point, deserving of that game. But I'm so shocked, because this Clapham O-line, I've never seen them this stifled. Never before have they been pushed so hard, and break after break after break for Izno.
and it is astonishing to say the least. I mean, it all comes down to this point here, leaving everything on the field to get to the Open Division Finals.
Let's see who's on that line. For Clapham, it's a mixture of O and D line player. Hillman, Mead, Briggs, Cartwright, Ford, Gordon, and Wilson. On the Izno side, it's Captain Becker, Ruel, Mel, Joe White, Tim Schock, Felix, and Jifar, who just caught that goal.
This is what it's all about. Best players versus best players, leaving it here. Giving it everything you got. It's not first score to 7, it's 1-0-0 here.
Putting it to Gordon. Ford. To Wilson, Joe White on his heels, but calmly collected by Wilson, and that's a goal for Clapham. Justin Ford. That was clinical offense like we haven't seen it all game, just in the right moment where they needed it.
And honestly, they're one of the easier points of the game and the conclusion. Again, we thought we might have got a little bit more of turns and everything along those lines, but again, a conclusion that was, I mean, a game that was amazing to watch here, to personally commentate again with the great Christina. 7-6, an interesting score line to say the least.
Yeah, didn't even make it to halftime, but it was just so much fire in both those squads, and seeing them go just against each other was intense. Thank you everyone for watching, for tuning in, and we got some more mixed semi-final action for you. So don't go away yet. Watch Krut from the Netherlands take on Smog from the UK for this game, concluding with a 7-6 win for Clapham. I've been Christina Obermeier, full course show straight, and we will see you again soon.
TV.